After all is said and done, after all the chase and haste, all that matters and stand the time, the test of time, is not how much a person was able to earn, not how much of possession he or she has to his name, but what such a person was able to do with the life of God in him. How well he managed the life of God in him, how well he utilized God's enablement and endowment. Man's life is in phases, two phases specifically. The first phase is too short, so short, compared to the second phase. The first phase has an end, is limited, but the second phase has no limit, is eternal, forever. Living in this short period of time, prioritizing things of no value, of no eternal value, of no eternal significance above God, is a risk. Is a risk and a sabotaging adventure for anyone. All these haste and chase and trend won't get through to you. Won't get through. They won't even pass the first atmosphere. They all end here in health. There comes a time in a man's life where he will transit from this first phase. It will happen. It's something that will happen to all men, the greatest of all men, the commons of all men. Every man will transit thereafter. But no matter what we stand, it's not how much of a beauty you have, how much you get to so spend on your skin, how much you so where to eat, how fine, how good looking you have, not the series and chains of cars you own, not the lands. It's not how much of what you left that what matters. What you left behind won't even get you to God. All that matters is what you did with this life. Yes, you still have opportunity. I still have a chance. What are you doing with God's life in you? What are you doing by the life of God in you? What it is you are doing? I'm also asking myself this morning, Dorcas Mojawe, what are you doing with God's life in you? What is that one thing you are prioritizing much more than the life of God in you? Dorcas, what are you chasing? What are you pushing towards in neglect of the life of God? What are you pressing towards in neglect of what really matters, of essence, which is the life of God? You see, this morning it dawned on me that God doesn't do anything out of purpose or out of proportion. It takes a time, and He is intentional about everything and everyone. You see, no one person is existing now. Whether the person came to end out of wedlock or unplanned for or unwanted, they were all intentional. God had a reason for making everyone. Every human is a wired reason, has a wired reason, was knitted with the reason, the purpose of God. At the end, it is that reason that we're able to unveil and accomplish that matters. So we still have time. I don't know how much of time we have, but as long as the time is clicking, He is about joining you and myself. Let's go about to do what God has brought us here for. Let's go about living, using God's life as He intended we should. Firstly, individually, what is that one thing that God has sent you here to earth to do? Is in you. Look deeper, is in you. Is in you. Please, those chase and pursuit won't matter much. What matters is what we did with God's life in us. So I'm leaving you today with this question. What are you really doing with the life of God in you? How much do you get to do for God on a daily basis? How well do you prioritize God and His interest on a daily basis? Is God and His interest at the topmost part of your heart? Or you push it back and go back doing as you deem fit. Let me remind you once that life is entrusted to you, to which you account for. And the account is not going to be based on what you were able, the possessions you were able to earn on earth. That's my prayer that this day, that we will refrain from going about our own needs. We'll refrain from prioritizing things that doesn't matter. That will get our priority right. That will prioritize the major over the minor. That the minor will not come first, but the major will come first. Day in and day out, that God and His interest will be upheld and held onto. That even God will accord us grace and help us to go about this. Have a wonderful day. I call you blessed. And these me Dorcas of Mojawe, raising my voice to remind you, this is a reminder. This is a reminder to you and to myself to go back to our scale of preference, to checklist our priorities. God, and nothing else should be first and come first, and every other thing comes after God, not God coming after every other thing. To have a blessed day ahead.